Hi friends, today I have a story that will give you goosebumps. Imagine this: you're all alone in a huge office late at night. It's pitch dark around you, and suddenly you start hearing strange noises, footsteps, whispers. You hide under a desk, and you can hear monsters walking around you. This isn't a horror movie, this is a real story that happened to a young man named Alexei. Why did he start suffering from headaches? And what did he see at dawn? Stay tuned, it's going to be terrifyingly interesting. Alexei, a 25-year-old clerk in a large Moscow company, usually tried not to stay late at work. Office life did not appeal to him, but the need to earn money forced him to spend long hours in front of the monitor. However, that day was different. A major project suddenly surfaced in the finance department, demanding his immediate attention. He spent the entire day at his desk, immersed in calculations and reports. Time flew by unnoticed, and by 8 in the evening, the office began to empty out. His colleagues, one by one, said their goodbyes and left for home. Alexei continued working, paying no attention to the departing employees. Numbers and graphs hammered in his head, requiring immediate solutions. When the clock struck 10, Alexei suddenly realized that he was alone in the vast office. He felt a slight unease but brushed it off, focusing on the task at hand. Soon, a cold draft swept through the corridor, and he thought he heard a faint rustling. He lifted his head and listened, but the silence was as dense as the darkness outside the windows. Night had taken over, and the office was plunged into darkness, illuminated only by the dim emergency lights. Alexei rubbed his eyes and decided to take a break, getting up for a cup of coffee. As he poured the hot water, he again heard the rustling, but this time the sound was more distinct, as if someone was cautiously moving down the corridor. His heart began to beat faster. He returned to his desk and resumed working, trying to ignore the frightening sounds. However, soon all the lights suddenly went out, and the office was engulfed in impenetrable darkness. Alexei froze, feeling cold sweat running down his back. Panic slowly crept into his consciousness. Trying to stay calm, he turned on the flashlight on his phone and shone it around. The empty workstations looked eerie in the dim light. Alexei took a deep breath and headed for the exit, but soon heard a loud crash coming from a nearby office. He froze, trying to understand what it was. The sounds were becoming stranger and more terrifying. Rustling, quiet footsteps, barely audible sobs. Alexei realized that he was not alone in the office. He ran to his desk, hid under it, and turned off the flashlight, hoping that no one would notice him in the darkness. Hiding under the desk, he listened intently. The sounds continued. It seemed as though someone or something was moving through the office, examining each room. Alexei felt his heart pounding wildly, and it became difficult to breathe from fear. Hours passed, dragging on like an eternity. Alexei tried not to make a sound, holding his breath. Suddenly, he heard something heavy fall nearby. The sound echoed through the office, and Alexei curled up, praying not to be found. Footsteps approached. Alexei felt something stop next to his desk. He heard heavy breathing and the dull thud of a heartbeat. It seemed that these moments lasted forever. Alexei did not dare to move. The footsteps slowly receded, and Alexei felt a slight sense of relief. He continued to sit under the desk, trembling with fear. Time dragged painfully slowly. The sounds around him gradually faded, but he did not dare to come out, fearing that the monsters might return. When the first rays of the sun appeared on the horizon, Alexei felt the fear gradually recede. The office began to fill with daylight, and the sounds finally ceased. He cautiously peeked out from under the desk, not believing his eyes. The office was empty. There were no traces of the nightmarish events. Everything was as he had left it in the evening. Alexei stood up on trembling legs, looking around. He checked all the rooms but found nothing unusual. Stepping outside, Alexei breathed in the fresh morning air, feeling his strength returning. He decided not to tell anyone about what had happened. It all seemed too unreal. Maybe it was a dream, or did his imagination play a cruel trick on him? Since then, Alexei never stayed late at work. Every time he left the office at dusk, he felt a slight chill down his spine. Something deep in his mind suggested that he had encountered something that night that was better left unexplained. Additionally, he began to suffer frequent headaches, as if the memory of the experienced fear had left a mark on his body. Each morning, waking up with a heaviness in his head, he recalled that night and tried to drive away the anxious thoughts that did not leave him even during the day. And that's it, friends. This was the chilling story of an ordinary office worker who encountered inexplicable horrors in the middle of the night. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more creepy tales, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and leave a comment. What do you think actually happened to Alexei? Share your theories in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.